Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Man, it feels like it's been forever since I did a regular comic book video, and it's been double forever since I did a back issue bonanza. So I did a bad thing, and I bought some back issues after saying I wasn't going to for a while. In my defense, it's been a while. So I waited for the sales. I was very economical, and I did pretty good. These are like $2 a piece, so I shouldn't really feel too guilty. But anyway, long story short, here is a back issue bonanza, which I've been missing for a while. So I really get a kick out of these E-Man comics. Oh, little standards disclaimers. I got all these from my comic shop. My comic shop is an online comic book store. You can see it right there, my comic. They don't know me. I don't get any money from them. I don't get any breaks from them other than good service, whatever. But I just like them. It's very convenient. So, you know, big box came in perfect, immaculate condition. So anyway, I got E-Man from Charlton Comics. That series, I read it all. I really enjoyed it. And then I went chronologically, and now I'm getting the First Comics. First Comics was one of the first comic book companies besides Marvel and DC that I became a fanboy of. And when I say a fanboy, I mean I just love this company, and I tried to get everything that I could. Keep in mind, I was in junior high school and high school when this came out, 1983. Yeah, I think I was in grammar school. So exposure, limitations, and funds were preventing me from getting everything. Like, I did not know about E-Man until I think I was in college. But I'm enjoying these. These are fun. These are fun. Oh, other thing, I just opened it up and took them out of the box, so I kind of forget what I actually ordered. So, and if anything's too embarrassing, I will stop the video. So this is the Silken Ghost, number 5. This is 5 of 5. This is CrossGen Comics. CrossGen Comics was a comic book company. Oh, why can't I think of the Mark Alessio, I think, is the owner. The guy made a fortune in computers. I don't know exactly. I'm a Luddite, as you can tell by my videos. If anybody knows how to edit, wouldn't mind helping me learn how to edit or edit my videos, message me at johnslongbox@yahoo.com. There you go. I didn't even know I could take super chats. There's a little plug for you guys, super chats, when I'm doing live. But anyway, he made a fortune, lifelong comic book fan, started up a comic book company. Unfortunately, it went out of business. I don't know the inside baseball. I don't know how it worked, but Chuck Dixon was one of the main writers. I kind of heard about CrossGen when it came out, but I actively avoided them. Why? Because at this period in my life, I was the brokest I've ever been. And I think I was only getting like 4 or 5 comics a month. I mean, it was funny because I was eating top ramen and things like that. I remember I was down to 2 pairs of jeans, but I still had to get my comics, because when you're a fanboy, you're a fanboy. You know, I'm sure we've all been there. So I avoided this company. Now I'm finding out they're excellent. So the Silken Ghost is a 5-issue miniseries based in why can't I think of the name of the comic book? It did it in the last the monkey. That's gonna drive me nuts. But I should start over, but I don't want to. But anyway, this is a 5-issue series featuring a character in the other Chuck Dixon martial arts comic that I just showcased a couple of weeks ago. Why can't I think of it? But it'll come to me right after. Oh, Way of the Rat. Way of the Rat. Why am I saying the monkey? Because there's a talking monkey. This is the worst video I've ever made. Okay, so now we have Negation number 1. Tony Bedard and Mark Waid. Just excellent art. One of the things, say what you want about Mark Waid, but the guy can write a comic book. You know, the guy's King Baby, as his nickname is, but he is an excellent writer. Got to give credit where credit is due. And these CrossGen comics, so far, they are all excellent. They are all excellent. And it's really a shame. I think Disney bought all of the creative rights to everything and then just sat on it, which is a shame, because supposedly there was a Way of the Rat movie in the works. This is Gun Honey. It's cheesecake. It makes no bones about what it is, but it's also excellent. I do have to say I'm a little disappointed with the art in this particular series. They're 4-issue series or 5-issue series. The first series, I guess they were trying to impress, and it was outstanding. It's a little not safe for work, so I didn't do a video on it, other than saying I like it. I got no problem with cheesecake. You know, I got problems with porn in comics, but a little bit of cheesecake doesn't hurt anybody. And this is cheesecake. This is like an R-rated movie. And what Gun Honey is she's not an assassin. Did you see that scene in The Godfather when Al Pacino goes to the bathroom and he pulls the gun out of the toilet? Well, and then kills, so he got frisked, so they he was safe. He goes to the bathroom, pulls the gun out of the toilet, and then comes back and kills his rivals. She would have been the one who put the gun in the toilet. So that's what she does. She breaks into places before the heist and, hides weapons all over the place. And then you go in to steal or kill or do whatever you got to do, and you could find the weapons. So, she's like the consummate athlete, spy, and then, of course, she's martial arts fighter and femme fatale. It's actually pretty good. But I have to say, I think this is the third series. The art is getting a little lazy. This is codenamed Danger. What comic company is this? This is Eclipse Comics, I think. But this is a comic that I saw on the shelves for years at my comic book store. I was in charge of like the back issues, and I would organize all the back issues, and man, did I take that job seriously. I loved that job. If that store was still around and I could pay my bills, I would have organized comic books professionally for the rest of my life. It was so satisfying. I loved it. And I remember seeing these a million times, but I never read them. They were like 90 cents, so what? And there's only 3 issues, so why not? It's going to kill me that I can't remember the comic company. Femforce, I make no bones about that. I'm again, I hate the term guilty pleasure, because you should not feel guilty about something that you enjoy. It's cheesecake. It's cheesecake. What do you want me to say? It's a team of all super hot girl superheroes, Femforce, but it's not gratuitous. There's a continuity. They have a big story. This guy, Bill Black, the creator, loves comic books. The only thing I don't like, let me ask you guys this. How do you feel about public domain characters? There's every year more and more characters go into the public domain. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, I think it's 70 years. I think it's the life of the creator plus 70 years. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert, but then your characters become public domain. So characters like Conan or Sherlock Holmes or all of H.P. Lovecraft's works are now public domain, meaning you don't have to pay anybody to use them. And I think Spider-Man and Superman and characters like that are on the verge of becoming public domain. I think Mickey Mouse is public domain, but like Disney is threatening to sue people, so nobody's using Mickey Mouse. But Bill Black is using a lot of public domain characters, not modernize them for modern order, just updating them, and giving them cool stories. But how do you guys feel about that? I'll cards on the table, just make up your own characters. I kind of don't like public domain characters. I didn't say that right. I like public domain characters. I think they're great characters, and I like that people, but I would never use them, is my point. I want my own characters. Maybe I'm greedy, whatever, maybe I'm arrogant, whatever, but I like my own characters. So I don't know. I kind of don't like when, because he used Blue Beetle in one of his comics, and I guess I don't know if he got in trouble. I don't know how he does that, but anyway, here you go. This is more Femforce, issue 25. Some issues, the art is outstanding, but I think one of the big problems with Femforce is, I think once the artists get enough practice, they move on to bigger and better and more, what's the word, more public ventures than Femforce. They're still going strong. I think it's up to like issue 200 or whatever. That was all that could fit on the lip. There you go, Bucky. I haven't said that in a long time. That was just for you. Okay, so these couldn't fit, so overabundant. So we got more Femforce. You see what I mean? You could see the art is different in every issue. I think he had a problem retaining artists for whatever reason. Oh, here's Silken Ghost #1 from Way of the Rat. She was a really cool, intriguing character. I was really excited to find out that there was more, because I'm done with Way of the Rat. The problem is it just ended. The company went defunct and the story wasn't finished. So that's one of the things. Chuck Dixon has asked Chuck Dixon. I asked him what would have happened had the stories continued, and we talked about that, or he talked about that. It was it's his own show, but I was excited to find out that there was more Way of the Rat in the Silken Ghost character. There you go. It's just really good. You like kung fu movies? This is a kung fu movie comic book, and here's Indiana Jones. I bought the first issue for this, when it first came out, because first off, I loved Indiana Jones. Who didn't? Second off, it was John Byrne and Terry Austin doing the art. That lasted 2 issues. I think John Byrne wrote a couple of more, and then it's been a rotating cast of characters. Once, I didn't particularly like it because, to me, the appeal of Indiana Jones is the charm and charisma of Harrison Ford. I mean, geez, that guy has got to be like the most charming, charismatic person on the planet. He's in what, 2 seconds in Apocalypse Now, and when he's on the screen with Martin Sheen, you can't look at anybody else. Harrison Ford just walks on, throws papers on a table, and you're like, who's that guy? He's like, Marlon Brando or something like that. He's just magnetic. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can't have the snarky comments that Indiana Jones has on paper without Harrison Ford to deliver. It just came across as he was a jerk. So I didn't particularly like, I thought it was like the worst of Indiana Jones because it was just the snark, but none of the charm. But I ended up really liking the comics. Oh, here's Codename Danger, number 2. Look at that wonderfully dated costume. Isn't that awesome? Just something about fins. He should have like an Errol Flynn mustache. Just wonderfully old-fashioned. Wonderfully old-fashioned. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This is another cross-gen comic. Like I said, I'm going. This is like a spy thriller. Cross-gen was wonderful in the fact that they did spies, they did pirates, they did barbarians, they did all genres. They did magic. They did detective stories, and this is a spy thriller. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. She's this. This is number 1. That's like the James Bond character. But Tony Bedard is excellent. So I can't wait to read this. Here we go. Number 1 of E-Man on the First Comics. Look at that wonderful Joe Stanton. This Nova Kane breakout character for me is more Femforce. That's what's his name, Ironjaw. just so bad, just so bad. It's so bad it's good. And stakes happen. There's death and intrigue and violence and all that good superhero stuff. Again, I'm not going to apologize for liking Femforce. And like I said, I don't agree with the term guilty pleasure. If you like it, why feel guilty? Here's more Silken Ghost. I don't know who these characters are other than the Silken Ghost. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang number 5. I think it was 5 issues. This I can't wait to read. This looks fun. This reminds me of Danger Girl. It's the thing about Danger Girl, I loved that. It was Scott Campbell's Danger Girl. The thing about it was the art could not be beat, but the story was lacking. So I have a feeling that this is gonna. Why am I talking about this? I have a feeling that this is going to satisfy me because Tony Bedard is an excellent writer. And look at this art. This art is outstanding. So, I will definitely be talking about this when I catch up on reading it. And then look at this. Okay, so this is American Comics. This is the same company that did Femforce. So this is Bill Black and everything. How is Captain Atom, Blue Beetle, Nightshade, and the question, are they public domain? Did the trademarks lapse? Because these are all DC characters, and not only are they DC characters, but these are the Watchmen. That's Night Owl. That's Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre, and Rorschach. You know what I mean? So DC obviously is invested in these characters. So is it like a dirty little secret? Can I use Captain Atom? Or at least this version of Captain Atom? Can I use these versions of these characters? Are they public domain? Is that why Jamie Reyes is the Blue Beetle now? I just thought of that. Did they get rid of the Ted Kord because he was public domain? I don't know. If anybody in the audience has an answer to that, I have a feeling Bucky or Cam probably knows that. Bucky and Cam know everything. Okay, and here's more Indiana Jones. I already talked about this. I don't want to say I'm tired of superheroes, but I'm tired of superheroes. It's cool to see a lot of these old adventure comics that I missed. Here's more Femforce. You see what I'm talking about? The cheesecake. I would say where that Gun Honey is R-rated, I would say this is like PG-13. PG-13. And this believe it or not, the Silken Ghost is all ages. It's violence and everything, but it's no more violent than like Fantastic Four Avengers from the 80s. And I don't know why I ordered this. What a great... Oh, okay. First appearance of Walt Simonson's The Manhunter. you better believe I'll be devouring this and talking about this. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you are in for a treat. This will be coming up. You know, the world of Wood. I'm laughing at that, but this is Wally Wood with Dave Stevens cover. Oh my God, how could you not want to read this comic book? Wally Wood, for those of you who don't know, it was the wonderfully troubled trickster, super talented Wally Wood. He's an amazing artist. I feel like out of all the comic book creators, him and Joe Cole, I think, would make the most interesting bio movies. Here's another topic. In the comments, who do you think would be good bio movies for comic book creators? Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Wally Wood, Joe Cole. Just super interesting. Oh, Larry Hama. Geez, Larry Hama. What a renaissance man. Focus. Okay, but this is Dave Stevens. Dave Stevens is famous for his good girl art, and Wally Wood. I could go on and on and on about the things that he did to push the Comics Code Authority. Okay, Patriotica. This was kickstarted, and then I missed the Kickstarter, and I picked up the regular comic book edition. We'll see if it's pretty good. I'm a sucker for patriotic superheroes. So this is patriotic cheesecake superhero. There you go. Count Dante. Oh my God. I did a showcase on Count Dante. I loved issue number 1. I loved issue number 1 so much, I'm actually nervous that could number 2 live up to the hype. I did a video on it, so I'm not going to regurgitate everything I said, other than, spoiler alert, I loved it. But then again, I only showcase comics that I really, really enjoy. If I show a comic that I don't enjoy, it's to make a point about something. There's enough negativity on the internet without me adding to it. But I can't wait to read this. I have issue 3 and 4, but I couldn't read them because I was missing number 2. So the freaky nature of me would not let me go on. I would rather wait a month or 2 and read a comic book in order than skip it. Here you go. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, spy thriller. Again, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. It has to be, Oh, here's Violet Descends. I did a showcase on issue number 1. It's about angels descending down onto Earth. A topic that I'm fascinated by that. Dead at 17 did it with Josh Howard, wonderful comic. I love Angels on Earth stories. I just think it's like, even Zor-El, the cheesy Grant Morrison character who joined the Justice League. I love that. I love the idea of angels as comic book characters. So this is Violet Descent, and here it is. She's on Earth, and she's a guardian angel of people, and she's like starting to doubt her mission. I have a feeling it's going to rebound into a redemption arc, which is another type of comic, type of story that I'm a sucker for. I love a good redemption arc. Chili, Millie's redheaded rival. I talk about this every time this comic shows up. I make no apologies. I'm an unabashed. These were called girls comics. And I didn't make up that term. That was like what they were called, comic books for girls. Now, Archie was super big. Archie's still gone. Everybody knows Archie. And this artist was one of the, why can't I think of his name? Stan Goldberg. Stan Goldberg, this was his baby. Stan Lee drew it, but I think Stan Lee was like stepping away from it with more responsibilities at this point. But Stan Goldberg was drawing this. Now, he was also this was what he was moonlighting. He was working at Archie, and then he would draw this, but he would sign other names to it because Archie Comics didn't want him to draw other comics. So, but he drew this in the Archie style, and when it started out, it wasn't in this style, but it morphed into this style. And they brought the character of Chili Storm into Marvel proper as a model, and it's Johnny Storm's cousin. And you better believe if I was to write the Fantastic Four, I would bring back Chili Storm and Millie and all those characters. There was a miniature models revival around 2005. This is Vortex. This is the missing issue, so now I could finally sit down and read these. Vortex was Hall of Heroes. I think this is like the first appearance of like Snowman and Creed, and maybe even Cyberfrog. I'm not sure, but all of those characters, I think they debuted in this series. I can't even speak because I have problems. And here's Violet Descends number 3. So I could finally, now I have the missing issues, I could finally read. Look at this. she's red. They go by their names, so they call each other Red, Yellow, White, you know. And Red is she. I forget the angel that she is. I have to reread number 1, or at least watch my video and get refamiliar. But the art in this is outstanding. I can see if it's not your cup of tea, but I really like it. You know, I was about to say something pretentious like, but then again, I like different comics. Yeah, but forgive me. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think I showed all of them. I think there's only 5 more. Or E-Man, Comico. At this point, I got to say the art is lacking. I don't particularly like this. I like Joe Staten's earlier art in Charlton Comics. This just is this still Joe Staten? But I know I don't like it. But Comico, this company I discovered. This was the first company that I went berserk for besides Marvel and DC. Why? Because Bill Willingham's Elementals. Man, I love that comic book so much. And Bill Willingham, he was the first comic creator besides John Byrne and George Perez, the first non-Marvel guy that I just went nuts for. Bill Willingham famously wrote the Fable series. But he was my favorite artist for a long time. His art was great. And he wrote modules for my role-playing game, Village, like mine. The game that I play with my friends, Villains and Vigilantes. He wrote content for that and drew content for that. That is outstanding. I should showcase that. And from that, he actually he created a team called the Destroyers that we could fight. You know, they were bad guys, not NPCs for the superheroes to fight. And then he made the Destroyers the bad guys in his superhero comic book, The Elementals. So that lured me to Comico, and that's it. I sight unseen, I have most Comico except for a few things. Here we go, Marvel Team Up. You know, I'm again, my Marvel Team Up. I think like a box or 2 of comic books went missing, you know, when I was a kid, because I had all of these and I can't find them. And I've went through all of my comics, and that I'll talk about that at the end of the video. This is Blue Book. This is the story of alien abduction. That's semi-based in it's based on a real event, but then they're telling us what happened during the alien abduction. So they're telling a real alien abduction, and it's real suspicious. This because I won't even get into it, but I did a showcase on issue number 1. It's really good. Oh, there you go. I got. Oh no, this isn't 2 copies of Countdown Day. I just left it on here. Okay, and here we go. The Lip. Indiana Jones number 24. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons number 16. I can't believe how much I'm enjoying this. This is so good. This is really, really good. I think I showcased issue 15, and in issue 16, I'll find out what happened. It's a 2-part story. And this is Femforce again. These are like $1.90, you know, each. So, you know, they're cheaper now than if you bought them off the stands. They're $2.50 off the stands. Again, you can see the art is very inconsistent. You know, I liked her Miss Victory costume. This is, I forget what she calls herself now. It's just edgy and hip, and I don't like it. I like the original comic. Codename Danger. I think this is written by Steve, how do you say his name? Evanier, who does Gru. I think this was his comic. I'm not sure, but whatever. And this is Nakota, the Jungle Girl, and she was a public domain character that Bill Black brought back. And she actually had a series of movies. She's like a jungle girl, like a Jane of the Jungle kind of character. And this is issue 4. Of course, look at this great Paul Galassi cover. Paul Galassi's a phenomenal legendary talent. And okay, and just when you think I'm done, I got this. Now, you know, yes, I had it already, but this is a first printing. You know, it was on sale, so I couldn't resist. And believe it or not, I never had this before. I never had this. So I got this. Okay, and you better believe I will be showcasing this. Superman vs. Spider-Man. This is the first Marvel and DC team-up comic. Written, I forget who wrote it, but drawn by Neil Adams. Can't go wrong, right? All right, and last thing, my channel news. For those of you who may or may not know, my comic book database was lost when my hard drive crashed. My friend Paul came over and tried to restore it for me. He was able to retrieve some nice photographs that my wife and I went on vacation with, but that was backed up. But my database, I was a jerk. It's my fault. I never backed up, so I lost it. So I have to redo my comic database. So I was thinking I'm gonna make a series called Lemons to Lemonade. That's what I'll call it. Maybe I'll call it something else when I actually start doing it. But I'll do one box at a time, and I'll take out my boxes. You know, as I scan them, I'll talk about the comics. You know, I'll see how feasible it is to do that. But what do you guys think of that idea? I'm not ready for doing it because I'm a slob and my comic book room is just overwhelmed with stuff. I got to organize it and get it ready to actually start rescanning my comics. So what do you think of that idea, everybody? All right, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.